Violence, murder, stealing a little kid's candy. Everyone experiences intrusive thoughts one way or another. There isn't really a perfect way to explain it, especially to someone who thinks they have intrusive thoughts but is actually insane. But there is a perfect way to experience it, through a game called Postal 2. Postal 2 lets you carry out every act of violence and absurdity a normal person could think of, and has violence so prominent that it was banned in 2 countries. A shitty CNN article back in 2003 even said that playing the game without it would be dull, and that you wouldn't be able to beat the game without a single act of violence. I guess this guy just really wanted to kill people, because playing the game without murdering is pretty easy. See, Postal 2 isn't like other sandbox games of its type, where you have to kill people in order to progress in the game. Cutting people in half, shooting them in the head, lighting them on fire, feeding dogs to cats, peeing on people, blowing people up. All of these things are just intrusive thoughts. They're not something you actually have to carry out to beat the game. The game setting contributes to this, placing you in a virtual America that welcomes casual chaos and insanity. It wants you to kill people. It's also aged perfectly well and gives you a feeling like you're really there.
That can't be good.
In this America simulator, you control the protagonist, who is simply named The Dude. He is a newly hired game developer at Running with Scissors and moves to Paradise, Arizona to be better accommodated with his new job. He lives with his wife, whose name is just The Bitch. He's an average guy who is just a bit more cynical than everyone else, and he doesn't really do anything special except get through his week. The objective of the game is to get through your week and complete your daily errands in any way you want. On Monday, your chores are simple. Get milk, get your paycheck, and cash your paycheck. The bitch asks for Rocky Road ice cream, which it doesn't get added to the list, so it's not a priority. I broke into my neighbor's house and decided to check the dude out in the mirror, and wow, he's so beautiful, except for the big black circle that takes place of his nether regions. You get to immediately see some of the sights of paradise, and you'll notice that many of the people that live here look like they're one step away from losing their minds. They're very judgy, especially when I decided to climb on buildings and steal some catnip. I think it's very telling when they care more about me displaying my parkour skills than this man getting wasted in the middle of the street in the middle of the day. After messing with that guy, I went to the convenience store and was met with a horrible smell. I wanted to get out of there quickly, so I grabbed the milk and used my magical parkour skills to clip through the back of the store. No security doors can stop me. I made my way to work and saw a pretty billboard with Gary Coleman on it. He's most known for his role in Different Strokes as Arnold Jackson, and he appears in this game as well as its DLC through archival voice clips. Sadly, in May of 2010, he died of a brain hemorrhage at the young age of 42. Rest in peace, Gary.
If I see you selling this on eBay, I will come to your house and kick your narrow ass.
Outside of Running with Scissors, there were a bunch of protesters who were chanting about banning video games, a sentiment that a lot of people still share in the modern day. While I can see why people would think this on the surface, you can't exactly say that someone would become a mass murderer just because they played Postal 1. I mean, just look at the fucking gameplay.
Sissy.
Plus, it was a game made by Running with Scissors that satirized the term that it uses for its name, going postal, where post office workers would go mad with rage and just kill everyone. Plus, the end of that game makes it so you probably hallucinated the whole thing. I don't think it could have gotten the message of violence is bad across any more obviously, but the protesters don't seem to understand that, so I'll ignore them because it would be a waste of time to talk to them. Inside, I am instantly laid off, something that has aged incredibly well, like most things in this game. So many employees who moved into these expensive-ass LA and California homes or relocated halfway across the United States just to be close to work were laid off, and the dude is no exception. Former boss Vince at least has the decency to pay me, so it is what it is.
And done.
Before I am able to leave, the protesters from outside start to break in and shoot at us. I made a daring escape, whipping out my trusty chainsaw and cutting through the protesters like this was doom. In reality, I peed on them and ran away like a little girl, making my way to safety outside. I took comfort next to this NPC who started to talk on the phone. Something about this game that makes it stand out is that NPCs have dialogue, which is clearly made up of a bunch of short voice clips quickly spliced together. It's very random and very comedic and robotic. It's almost lifelike, to be completely honest.
I tried 6 once, but I couldn't walk for a week. Well, did you see him the other day?
While listening in on the NPC's business discussions, I forgot to distance myself further from running with scissors, and a protester began to chase after me. Taking cover behind a car, I let the police do their job, except the protester was able to blow up these shitty prop cars and kill multiple people. The officer didn't seem to care though. All in a day's work. I marked down that these protesters were going to be out to get me, and then I made my way to the bank to cash my paycheck. The people in line were nice enough to clear out when I got there, but suddenly, the bank started getting robbed.
This is a stick-up! Don't move and you won't get hurt.
There wasn't anything I could do to stop the criminals since I didn't have any guns, but I had a better idea. I would steal all the money before they could. I cleared out that bank and made it out with a sizable amount of money. I returned home happy and hopeful, only to be met with nagging.
Did you go by work?
Yeah, apparently I'm on sabbatical or something.
Well, good. Maybe you can get a few more things done for me.
I'm gonna do a few things to you, woman.
What was that?
Tuesday's chores are a little more complex. We've got to confess sins, get signatures on our petition, return our library book, and get Gary Coleman's autograph. The morning paper also says that marching band has tryouts today, so it'll be nice to see them walking around. Funnily enough, the paper also says that the murder rate increased since yesterday. Yesterday, when I started playing. But I didn't kill anyone, so it couldn't have been me. The first chore to get done is the petition, since all I need is 8 signatures, and I could get them while watching the marching band. The first person I ask refuses to sign, but after some kind convincing, they agree. The second person I asked wasn't very friendly, so I decided to ask someone else. Most people didn't want to sign the thing at first, but they always came around the second time I asked them. The marching band was wrapping around now, so I decided to get under some shade to watch them go by. Despite the hellfire in their eyes, the band played pretty decently. A man came out of nowhere with a grenade, and I watched as a police officer stayed clueless to him. He killed the entire marching band, and she ended up coming late, drawing her gun on everyone who was already dead. All in a day's work, I guess? She even refused to sign my petition, which was very rude. I didn't need her signature anyway, because this very nice lady decided to sign and meet the quota that I needed. With that out of the way, I finally made my way over to the library. Some protesters are inside, and instead of wearing orange like the game protesters, they wear yellow. I ignored them and swiftly turned in my book.
I hope the bitch appreciates the trouble I went to.
With 2 chores done, I have 2 more to go. This is way too easy. I'm not going through that. Something in the protesters must have caused the library to catch fire, or maybe this is some sort of ironic karma. After a bit of trial and tribulation, my muscle memory returned to me, like an old war veteran picking a gun back up. I used the powers of parkour to shoot myself out of the library to safety, adding another group of people to avoid. The quickest way to finish up the day was to go through the mall, get Gary's autograph, then take the road to the church to confess. I ran all the way to the mall and then saw the line. There were a few ideas I had to shorten the line, but they all ended badly, so I didn't do anything rash. I patiently waited for the line to dwindle down and then got my autograph from Gary, who seemed just as happy as I was.
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Coleman. I love facts of life. You ever do that leather Tuscadero chick?
Yeah, you're cool. Go away.
It's from my mother, I swear.
Yeah, sure it is. If I see you selling this on eBay, I will come to your house and kick your narrow ass.
Celebrities can be nice. I was lucky to be the last person in the mall who was able to get Gary's autograph because all of a sudden the police started storming into the place with the warrant for his arrest. Things quickly escalated to a shootout, and for some reason, the police started to shoot at me too. Since they were already after me, I took this opportunity to get more money, which made them even angrier. There was nowhere to hide except in this vacant lot where there was an officer already dead for some reason. In that vacant lot, there was a VR headset, and of course I put it on. This device was from the future. I am transported to the future of paradise, into a store named Steam that is having its grand reopening. The cashier is Mike J, who was my co-worker at RWS, who was also getting Gary Coleman's autograph. He's selling Postal Redux, the remake of the first Postal game released in 2016, and after the release of Postal 2's DLC, Lost Paradise. Buying Redux from Mike gives you the game as an item, and it lets you save voice lines from it. Very cool.
The Earth is hungry. The Earth is also thirsty. The Earth is hungry.
I also took this opportunity to rob Mike since I'm going to need the money more than he does, especially since I now have the hindsight of 13 years.
What the?
Returning to the past, the dude says a voice line that was obviously recorded and added in years later, since his mic and delivery is completely different.
Well, I suppose that was worth the wait.
I made my way to the church now, avoiding some protesters along the way, and when I got there, I took some money from their donation box, which made one of the priests angry. He started to shoot at me, but I ran away because there was no reason to fight. He actually helped me out by scaring away the lines at the confessional, and after some lying, Tuesday's chores were complete. However, I still had to get home and had a slight delay because of an attack on the church. One of the attackers also had a car fall on him, something that I've never seen before. Just like with all the other enemies in the game, I made sure to avoid them and chose to run and weave away from bullets like I was Neo. Molotovs flew everywhere, and I caught fire, but I was able to pee on my own head to put out the flames, so everything went well. I didn't even shoot a single bullet.
Hey, did you get Gary Coleman's autograph? I can get a small fortune for it on eBay.
Right, a small fortune. Say, aren't those things more valuable after the person is, deceased?
Yes, why?
No reason. Can I borrow your computer?
Wednesday's chores are to piss on Dad, vote at the Caucasian, and pick up a Christmas tree. In April. The paper says that there is still an unknown killer, and that scares me, because this town is so small. Hopefully, they can find the killer soon and stop them. I made my way over to the Caucasian, and voted through some issues with the paper.
Damn, I can't even tell who that'll count for.
Hey, they got a Steven Seagal in here, or at least someone with a very similar name and slightly different spelling. I'd bet he'd do fantastic as sheriff. As I left the Caucasian and went to go pick up a tree, I saw an officer stand over the dead body of a Caucasian employee. There was no blood, so I can't really say for sure what happened, but it's still tragic to see such a hard worker die like this. Then the officer ran off after a bystander. Beyond the trailer that the bitch and I live in, there's an entrance to the sewer and presumably a shortcut to the forest. So I went down there. I was met with a bunch of unfriendly sewer dwellers, but avoided them as I went to this forest. People in the forest were having picnics with fast food and donuts, but I won't judge them because they were generous enough to give me some of their fast food. I stumbled upon a tree I wanted, a beam of light shining down on it. The locals in the area didn't appreciate that I was taking the tree that they also wanted, so they started trying to kill me.
My favorite Christmas tree, Earl.
What do you think we should do, Billy Joe Bob?
We gonna do it here?
Let's open his Christmas package early, Billy Joe Bob. I'm gonna make him squeal like a chicken. Whoop, whoop.
That's the...
There was no reason to stay and fight since I already got the tree, so I decided to run away once again. Suddenly, a little green man appeared out of nowhere and started running around the forest, yelling about his lucky charms. I had two choices now: go back into the sewer and save time, or follow the leprechaun. He ended up flying away on his pot of gold when I turned away from him. No big deal. On this little detour, I saw the still ongoing tryouts for the marching band and decided to greet one of the elephants they were practicing with. It wasn't very friendly and decided to murder people, so I ran away before it could get me too. Focusing back on the final task, peeing on Dad, I slowly went back into the city and saw the leprechaun again. I made it back home and decided to try and use the sewer again instead of running all the way back up to the top of the town. In there, the dwellers were just as unfriendly as they were before, but they didn't know that I could gain the power of super speed through eating catnip. I climbed out of the sewer and saw that the church and its graveyard was near a whole lot of nuclear waste. It didn't really bother me anyway, because it's not like this would cause the dead bodies to come back to life or anything. I made my way over to Dad's grave and proudly urinated all over it. Something interesting is that the dad's name is also The Dude, and that he died in 1996, 1 year before the events of Postal 1.
I done busted up his head.
Kidnapped by those rednecks from earlier, they took away all of my stuff. You don't just go into a man's pockets and take his crack of health pipes. They even dressed me up in this disgusting gimp outfit.
Oh my god, I'm the damn gimp. Oh great, now my day is complete.
There was only one way to retaliate, one way to fight back against them now. Pee on them and take all of my stuff back without any trouble. I'll spare you the details, but let's just...
You probably thought you weren't gonna die today. Surprise. Right in the stomach. Well, those people didn't seem very happy with me at all. Better watch my ass.
I could have headed home, but now I needed to pick up my clothes at the laundromat since, well, on my way there, I had to deal with the townspeople mocking and laughing, but it wasn't all that bad. The officers were so distracted with the way I looked, they forgot to immediately shoot at me. It was pretty fun. In the end, I picked up my laundry.
A Christmas tree! I can't wait to decorate it.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap since it's July and all.
Well, I hope you voted today. Your choices will affect the future.
You don't say.
What was that?
I said, do we have any beer? I worked up a killer thirst today.
Another day means another set of chores and another part of the town reopening. I forgot to pay for a ticket for my card that doesn't work, get a toy of a mascot named Crotchy, get steaks for a barbecue, and get napalm for the weeds. The search for the killer continues in the newspapers, and now they've deployed the military to help in the search, so it's a really bad thing now. Chore-wise, I'm going to go pay for my ticket first. The police station is the closest. I saw a leprechaun on my way there and let him go by, making sure to go after him later. Outside of the police station, I watched some RWS protesters get into a fight with the local military. It was awesome to see someone fight back for me, especially since I couldn't kill people. Inside of the police station, I stole all of their confiscated health pipes and then paid for my ticket. A little trick I learned is that the guy at the desk won't actually take your money if you just quickly throw it to the side, so I'm off scot-free. Down the street from the police station is the butcher shop, so I'll go there next. Some library protesters try to shoot me down, so I use the power of parkour to climb up and get away from them.
There's the killer!
And also let me teleport into the butcher shop, so that's a plus. The butchers are just as unfriendly as everyone else in this town, and they try to kill me, so I fought my way through their shop. They had an interesting way of getting meat, and it went straight from the cow into the packaging. But I thought it was cool since I was able to pick up 8 steaks instantly. The police were such buzzkills as always, raiding the place and doing it with SWAT. The police were the enemy of my enemy, so I didn't fight back against them and let them shoot at the butchers. The problem was all of the butchers were gathered up near me, so I ended up being a bullet sponge anyway. I escaped from the butcher shop and made my way up Paradise to the napalm factory. On my way there, I stumbled upon some crazy people who tried to light me on fire. It backfired on them. And I found a pretty cool toilet store. Near the napalm factory, there was the junkyard where I hoped I could find an alternator to replace the one in my car. It was closed, but I used the power of speed to clip through the gate in the front. A bunch of dogs and the owner tried to attack me, but I ran away from them and was able to get back to the front, which I couldn't get through because, well, it's not open. By standing on a grenade over and over again, I was able to boost myself up on the gate and climb through it. The power of parkour comes in handy once again. After that, I walked past all of the napalm factory security into their lab and saw it, the beautiful napalm launcher. Then some scientists puked on an electricity panel and all hell broke loose. Security was still out to get me despite the fact that the factory was filling up with lava, but hey, you gotta respect their grind. Anyway, I had to use the power of parkour once again to escape the place. At the end, there was a scientist there who was directing me towards the exit. I jumped down after him. Once I was outside, I didn't see him, so it's probably safe to assume he didn't make it. Rest in peace, buddy. There was one final task now. Get a bad touch crotchy toy. There wasn't anything of note happening on the way to the mall, but I did pick up a cat, so that's nice. When I got there, Crotchy didn't answer my demands, and then told me that they were all sold out of Crotchies.
Mascot. I need a mascot. I need a bad touch crotchy.
We be all sold out and shit.
A mascot. I need a bad touch crotchy.
We be all sold out and shit.
Shit.
Why don't you buy Larry the Crab? We got lots of those.
A bunch of Larry the Crab. How many could there be? It's not like they could all be sold out of Crotchy either.
Crap. Sold out. Figures there are plenty of Larrys left.
Well, it's not like there's anything I can do. I went into the back and stole their last Crotchy, which made the police not very happy. My next move was to escape, of course, but then I saw that Crotchy was fighting the police for me. What a hero.
Bite my ass. That stuff is addictive.
I went home again for the day, met with the nagging of my wife once again.
I hope you found a bad touch crotchy. You won't believe what they're selling for online.
Oh, I got crotchy all right. Yep, definitely. Couple of times. Want to see the cool thing I picked up to kill the weeds with?
Ow! You ruined my carpet, you asshole!
Sorry, I was aiming higher, I swear. Gotta get this thing calibrated.
This time, I had a dream where I fought Crotchy for the last toy, and he shrugged off all of my bullets, even the ones from my double-barrel shotgun. This dream progressed, putting me into a terrorist base where I killed a bunch of them and picked up a nuclear missile launcher. And then... the last day of the week. I need to get an alternator, something that I already did on Thursday, so we can cross that off the list. Then, I need to pick up a package and go to my Uncle Dave's birthday party. There's also a suspicious little gap in the note for the chores, suggesting that there's one more hidden chore. And there is. The dude would talk about needing to pee a lot on Friday, and if you do end up peeing, well, then you have to go to the clinic to get checked up, so I won't pee at all.
Man, I sure hope I get to sleep in tomorrow.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
In the newspaper for today, the ATF says that they are battling against a cult leader, which I haven't heard about, so it must be very new news. I decided to go to Uncle Dave's party first, since the other chores seem faster to do, and I could get them done later in the day. On my way there, I saw the ATF gathered outside of his place. They had guns and tanks, and they had what the? They're being led by Hank Schrader.
Bruh, Big Chungus. Bruh, Big Chungus.
The ATF thinks that Uncle Dave and his followers are a cult, which I don't really know too much about, so I can't really say. What I will say is that they have a sign that says they understand OJ's struggle. And if you know anything about OJ, well, let's just say he wasn't exactly innocent. Inside, Dave's followers look a lot like milkmen, and he looks cheerful as always. I gave him his present, and then the ATF launched a full attack on us. Everyone started to kill each other, so I took this opportunity to just slip past and escape. Yet, at the exiting road, there he was, Mr. Schrader himself. I had a vision that we fought in an epic boss battle, another vision where he ended up killing me, and another where I just shot him in the head. None of this happened, of course, and I just walked around him and out of there. There was just one thing left to do: go to the post office. On my way there, I got attacked by some people, but shrugged it off since it wasn't a really big deal. Something that was a big deal were the missiles outside of the post office that someone kept firing at me. That was annoying. When I got to the post office, I had to pay postage, which was $100. What a fucking scam. I was excited to see what I was going to get in my package though. My package exploded, and I don't know why I got blamed for it, since it was obvious the package was meant to kill me, but now the post office workers want to kill me. Get it? Because that's the name of the game. I didn't want to fight back against them, so I used the power. With everything done now, I headed back home, met with the nagging of my wife again, and I couldn't take it anymore.
Time. Did you remember my rocky road?
I blacked out and had a dream where I went through the week and killed everyone in my way. This dream was weird because Friday didn't end the same way it did normally. Instead, cats and dogs started raining from the sky, and the people of the town revealed their true colors. Everyone was trying to kill everyone. Both Crotchy and Gary started fighting too. It was horrifying. To see everyone unleash their violence like this, to see that I was going crazy and shooting back too. But none of that really happened, and it made me wonder what it would be like to be the only person who didn't shoot back. It's a good thing I never had to find out because 1, I picked up an alternator on Thursday, and 2, the game ended. The end screen showed me the stats of the playthrough, and would you look at that? I killed absolutely no one, showing that you can indeed beat your intrusive thoughts, and you can beat this game without killing a single person, proving that game journalists are just not good at video games.
Bruh, Big Chungus. Bruh, Big Chungus.